Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the M53 M55, the Tier 9 American SPG. This one's located on the south spawn of Redshire and it's under the command of Angelina75. Oh, I think you can see that she's got a lot of bounty equipment on this vehicle. She's certainly gone all out to maximise the capability of it by increasing the reload speed, using a rammer, vents, and also a gun laying drive to improve her ability to hit the enemy. Standard reload is 40.27 seconds. She's managed to get it down to 32.93 and she's using premium consumables, which speeds up everything, so it's well worth doing that. It's a 2 replay video featuring Angelina75. Well, I think this is one of her favourite arties at the moment, because of course she's going through them one by one and she's learning to get good results out of all of them. Okay, let's have a look and see where she's aiming. First target is a Leopard prototype who's managed to sneak up to the centre line, rounds out. She stuns him, but he gets rid of the stun virtually immediately. Now you notice that she's actually using a position well over onto the west side of the map. Normal conventional thinking is that arties would actually stay over near the cap area or actually go to that little inlet or alcove where one of our tank destroyers has gone at the moment to shoot at the enemy. But no, Angelina's unconventional. She's decided to shoot from this side and it looks to me like she's got good angles on the enemy. And she lands a shell right next door to the Gorilla 15 for 266. It's a tier 10 game with tier 9 tanks, so she's going to earn extra XP for all of the higher tier tanks that she actually hits in this one, and that was the first one. Now it's the 8-inch howitzer, which identifies this as the M55, which was used by the US Army. Also used by Belgium, Turkey, Spain, West Germany, Republic of China, Taiwan, and 79 hit points on the Emil 2. Now this Arty has a very wide gun arc. It's got 30 degrees either side of the centre line, 60 degrees in total, and that means that you can dial in on targets, new targets fairly quickly. Very easy to do that. It's also got reasonably good speed because it's actually built from the hull of a Patton tank, the M47. And on top of all that, it's accurate and it's got a reasonably fast reload. The bad things is that it's actually got a fairly poor alpha on the stock gun, which is the 155mm gun. It's also got a very large profile, which makes it very easy to spot if they do get spotted. Direct hit. She hit the 50M for 272. And lastly, of course, the crew setup on this vehicle is a little unusual. As you can see, you've got 2 gunners, 2 loaders. And that means it's not conventional. It's not like some of the other arties where they might have two loaders, but they don't necessarily have 2 gunners. Okay, we've just lost one of our T95s and now the enemy's, another one of ours has actually managed to break his way through, but the enemy is losing tanks and we're losing tanks as well. Direct hit! Wipes out the enemy Arty. So now they're going to have to play without any Arty support whatsoever. And that is going to make a difference in the battle because it normally does. We know this because we play Arty, so when we wipe out the enemy Arty, we know full well that Arty can provide support for the teammates to actually help them to win. Looks like that E50 is going to get hit next. She's marked the target to tell everyone that's what I'm going for. It's a real help to do that. Rounds out. Another direct hit, this time for 333. Leaves the E50M as a one-shot and he's been wiped out. So it's going very well now. We're 1 tank up on the enemy, but they are doing, well, they're holding their own over by the Zeppelin. We've got a T-54 lightweight up on top, and it looks like he's trying to harass our guys. But remember, we've got a Object 279E, a Chieftain, and a Badger down there, so it's going to be fairly difficult for him. And he is taking fire from our teammates, and I think he's decided to abandon that position for the moment. And Angelina's switching target to a Gorilla 15, who's still got all of his health, but not for long. Rounds out. Direct hit! And a penetrating shot. 802 hit points off that one. It is a Panther hull on the Gorilla 15. You can tell it was a penetrator because she got 900 alpha is the penetrating value. Well, it's the value you get if you do penetrate 52 millimeters of armor. And the fact that she got 802, which means a low roll penetration. Of course, if it wasn't a penetration, it'd be 50% of the 900 or 450, and it was well over that. So there's no chance. That was a pen. Rounds out. She stuns and splashes the Super Conqueror, but he gets rid of the stun straight away. Now it looks to me like that T-54 lightweight is trying to make a run down towards our cap, but he got stopped by a Char Future 4. The enemy are 2 down now, and Angelina's starting to advance towards the enemy, because of course the closer you are to them, the shorter the reaction time, the faster the shell gets to the enemy, the sooner you get more damage, so you can aim more directly at them instead of having to lead the target at all. It also helps because if you get close to the enemy cap, you might actually be able to cap out, put pressure on them that way. Okay, she's looking over on the east side, but it's the hill that she needs to look at, and there's that Gorilla 15 again. And she's lining up a shot on him. She's backing up, and yeah, he takes another round, but this time round it's only 350, so I think the shell might have landed right next door to him. She didn't get any critical hits off him at least, but now that Jagdpanzer E100, oh, he was in trouble, but he's now gone. We're 4 tanks up on the enemy now. They've only got 5 tanks remaining. 3 of them tank destroyers, 2 mediums, and I think they're starting to feel the pressure of not having an Arty to support them. T-55A is in the cops. She fires a round in, and oh, it hits the rock face. There's a nice juicy target. The Waffenträger Aufpanzer IV has virtually no armor whatsoever. If you land a shell near him, it's more than likely going to do a hell of a lot of damage. And the Gorilla's with him as well, so I think this is going to be Angelina's next target if we can see him. Of course, seeing the enemy is half the battle for an Arty, because we need to know where the enemy is to shoot at them. Okay, she's going to go for a Waffenträger, and she gets a hit. 495. I think that's a high roll non-penetration. We're only 3 up on the enemy now, but they are losing hit points. They're 2,500 hit points below us, and there goes the Gorilla. Now that T-55A sought cover in the cops because mainly it's safer in there than it is out in the open. But he is a one-shot now. And she's also found a Leopard prototype, the first one she saw, I think. And it hits the rock face, that shell. There's 2 enemy, or 1 enemy that we haven't seen actually, and that's one of the Waffenträgers is missing. We've seen one of them, but not the other one. Okay, 1 Waffenträger's gone down, but there's still 1 out there, and he hasn't got any kills. Oh, there he is, and he's full health, nearly was full health, just took a shot from our pattern. Rounds out on the T-55A, but he's been killed by our chieftain. The other Waffenträger got wiped out by the M46 pattern. In fact, actually, it was the Char Future 4 from the hill who actually got the kill shot, not the pattern, but anyway. The Leopard's gone, and that is the end of the first battle. It's a victory. Here's the end of battle stats, and in the first game, Angelina managed to get a first-class tanker in her M53, M55. She got a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits in this one. She managed to get 13. And she also got a Confederate for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on her team. At least 6 tanks subsequently taken out by other teammates. Her win rate from this one was 3,145, which is super Unicum standard. As she said, this is like the old days. Yes, she's starting to get good damage on the enemy again. Arty players, even if they get nerfed by wargaming, they still find a way to actually recover all of their ability to kill the enemy and assist their team. And so you can't keep a good person down for long before they get their skills back again. Let's have a look at the team score. Well, we can see that the highest damage in this game was actually one of the Waffenträger who's got 5,090 hit points of damage, picked up a tank sniper. The second highest damage of the game was that Leopard prototype with 4,113, and the third highest damage was our Skoda T50 with 3,406. We can see that Angelina got the second highest damage on her team, and in fact it's the fourth highest damage? Fifth highest damage overall in the battle, because there was an Emil 2 on the enemy team got more damage than she did. 2,987, that's a very decent score. When it came to kills, it was the Badger who did the best alongside the Chieftain and on our team. And 2 kills went to the Char Future for the Waffenträger Aufpanzer via the Leopard prototype and the E50M. Angelina only got the 1 kill during the game. When it came to base XP though, she was actually in 5th place. The top scorer was the Patton, the M46 Patton with 990. 985 went to the Badger, 979 to the Skoda T50. Angelina managed 903. She fired 13 rounds in that game. You only get 20 rounds, so she had 7 spare at the end of the game. 5 direct hits, 2 penetrations. Yes, I was right, there was 2 pens in that game. One of them on the Gorilla, and I think the other one, if I remember correctly, which one it was. It wasn't the Super Conker, no. Let's have a look and see. It was the M53, M55. Yes, she penetrated him, and that's when she wiped him out. And yes, I'm pretty sure it was the Gorilla that she also got the pen on. Yes, look at that. 1,152 hit points of damage in total on that tank destroyer. He must have been very upset getting constantly hit. Well, not constantly, but getting hit by Arty more than once certainly put someone off. Anyway, 10 splash damages as well, 2,987 hit points of damage, all of it at more than 300 meters. She damaged 7 of the enemy, killed 1, did 145 hit points of damage assistance, plus 145 of stun assist off 11 stuns. So not much in the way of stun assist. If she'd actually got slightly more stun assist in this battle, I think she would have had an ace tanker. 37,205 credits for the game, 50,000 for completing the first mission of the day, or first victory of the day, and 87,205 altogether. After ammunition resupply, she still took away a profit of 62,895 credits. 1,354 XP times 2 for the first victory, 2,709 experience points altogether. So a very decent first battle, and she's definitely improving after the nerf. This is the first sign that things are improving. We're getting our mojo back, you might say. Let's have a look at the second battle. The second battle is on the west spawn of Studzianki, and I think I'm going to have to start it again because I think they've got no engine noises. So we'll just press the button. That's better. We've got the engine noises back. Okay, yes, west spawn of Studzianki, and Angelina's going into battle. Well, the M53 and the M55 were designed at the end of the Korean War. 1952 saw the first prototype, and they were in service from 1952 till 1960, so they did actually see service during the Vietnam War. They were built from the M47 Patton tank, but it was reversed because the turret was actually at where the front of the vehicle, the front of the Arty would, the front of the tank would normally be, and the rear where the engine is was up front. It's got a Continental 12-cylinder 4-cycle V engine, or V-shaped engine. 810 brake horsepower at 2,800 revs, torsion bar suspension. It's actually quite a nippy design. They actually took off one of the road wheels, in fact one of the return wheels. You can see that's why it looks kind of weird at the back. Not like a conventional tank where you get a return rotor at the top at the rear. So it's just got the road wheels and the drive wheel right at the front. Okay, she's aiming towards the wood. There's a Skoda T50 in there somewhere. It's another tier 10 game with tier 9 tanks in it. A lot of enemy have gone down the south, but so have our guys. Of course, sometimes it actually does help to be further north, because the further north you are, the more likely you'll be able to shoot behind this church. And at the enemy in the rear. She fires to the gap. Oh, she got it through the gap and actually stunned 2 enemy tanks and damaged the Object 140 in A phase 1. Very good shot. As you may know, Angelina is in competition with Talon 9058. Her partner, both live in the same house, and well, the one who gets the best result of the week actually has to look after their boy at the weekend. She just got a direct hit on one of the enemy, we don't know which one. Yes, as I was saying, the whoever actually gets the best result, they have to look after their boy Remy at the weekend. So the other one gets a lion, so there's fierce competition to get the very best result during the week. Both Talon and Angelina play Arty at an expert level, accurate shooting as well, going for the T95s. The real M55 could only actually carry 10 rounds of ammunition. That was the actual shell, the 203mm shell. That's what she's firing. This time round she hits the church. It's a big round, and you can understand why if you see the racks inside an M53, M55. They're much smaller racks, or bigger racks I suppose. You can carry more shells for the M53 because it's only 155mm round, but with the 203mm 8-inch round, it's so big that they could only fit 5 rounds, 10 rounds in total, 5 rounds in the racks, each rack, 2 racks, and of course they had to have separate cartridges to propel the shells. In fact, the vehicle, although it has vents in the game, is actually, and it's an enclosed Arty, in fact, when they were firing it, they'd open up the back of the vehicle and they'd have a lift so they could lift spare shells into the vehicle using a hoist. It's a really heavy shell. They even had guide plates to actually enable them to push the shell into the breach, much as they do on the T92 HMC. Now, despite the fact that this Arty was late for the Korean War, as I said, it did actually serve in Vietnam. In the Korean War, the main Arty was the M41 HMC Guerrilla, which is in the game as the Tier 5 American SPG, as well as the M40 and the M43. And of course, the US did have the ability to use the M12, but I don't think they actually sent any M12s out to Korea. I think it was only the M40, M43 or the M41. Of course, the M41 being a 155mm howitzer and a rather small little vehicle, it was fairly mobile. I think the idea of actually using the M53, M55 meant that they could use a lot more power on the enemy, but of course it was just too late for the war really. I don't believe it actually did see service during the Korean War at all. Unless somebody corrects me on that, I think it was actually only in Vietnam that it actually saw action. Okay, Rainer Sorrente has basically stopped there, and I'm wondering if he's disconnected. If so, she should farm him as quickly as she can. And she's decided not to shoot. There goes the A phase 1. It's a difficult shot to get at those T95s. She might be able to splash that one. No, it hits the building, I'm afraid. This isn't an encounter game, which is probably why most of the tanks went down to the south, because obviously they wanted to get good shots on any enemy tanks that are in the cap area. At the moment, we're blocking the enemy because our Jagdtiger is in the cap, but now he's capping because he just killed the T95. Or was it a different one? No, it's a mouse he just killed, not the T95s. They're still on the other side of the wall. And we've got a Jaegeru now. Angelina's going to go for him. That's out. Yes, direct hit. And because she's changed her angle, it's much easier to shoot into that corner now. And she's picking up some stun assist as well. Lots of stun assist. Lots of it. 927. The Jaegeru's gone down. The Jagdtiger got him in the end. Well, now she's going to have a go at those T95s, I think. And she's in perfect position to do so. She'll be able to shoot directly at them over the top of the rubble. Two of them together at the same time. Oh no, is that one that's been killed? No, one's still there. That's out. She did get 270 hit points off that shot. The other one's hiding behind the rubble, because he probably knows that he's going to get Arty otherwise. The enemy Arty's been spotted. He's over in the north, right in the corner, and he's been wiped out. There's only 4 enemy remaining now. One Arty, a 212A, who's also been spotted over in the north. And the T95's gone down. Rounds out on the other, and he gets she gets 402 off him. The 212A's been taken out, which just leaves the Strip 103B and a T95. I think she's going to go for the Strip because he's more of a threat to our 260 at the moment. Oh, I think our 260 is now in danger. Yeah, I could see that happening. That Strip's got a deadly 105mm gun. But Angelina's going to put him in his place with a 203mm. That definitely hurt. Everyone's converging on this corner now because that's the last enemy alive. She probably won't be reloaded in time, but she definitely got some hit points off him. And there's the kill shot that wins the game. Here's the end of battle results, and that was a first class tanker for Angelina in the M53, M55. She also managed to get her second mark of excellence on the barrel of her M53, M55 at last, as well as a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. She managed to get 9 and another Confederate, so she's obviously managed to improve a great deal. On this one, the win rate was only 2401. She didn't get any kills in the game, but she's certainly got some nice damage. Let's have a look at the team score and we'll see where she is. The highest damage in the game was done by our Kranvan with 4,733. The second highest was the Object 260 with 3,612. And the Striv 103B managed to get 3,421. Angelina managed to get 2,824 from that game, which actually puts her behind 3 people on the enemy team. So she's actually in 6th place as well overall. When it came to kills, it was the Kranvan with 4 kills, 3 kills to the Jagdtiger and the Strip 103B, and 2 kills to the 260, the Object 430, and the T95 and M53, M55 on the enemy team. When it came to base XP, Angelina's in 2nd place because the Kranvan managed 1,058, she managed 1,015, and the M53, M55 got 988 from that one. 13 shots fired, 6 direct hits, no penetrations on the enemy in this game, 13 splash, damage of 2,824 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters. Damage 7 of the enemy, didn't get any kills, but she got 3,465 hit points of stun assist. So less damage, more stun assist off this one, and it's off 11 stuns as well. 60,698 credits, 80,000 for completing a mission and events, a total of 140,698 credits altogether, and after resupply of ammunition she took home a whopping profit of 116,388 credits altogether. Very good score. 1,522 XP times 2 for the first victory, 3,045 experience points altogether. After seeing that battle, I suspect that she did get the weekend off and she got to lie in, and Talon was the one looking after Remy. Yes, I'm pretty sure of that because, yes, second mark and all that, and 2 really great games. I hope you enjoyed both of those replays. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And please do remember that we've got a sister channel called The General where you can see replays without any commentary upsetting or distracting you at all. You can see the battles as the players played them and as they pick up their medals. And thank you for watching.